Hi, this is Guy Barker here. Welcome to Herbie.org. Today I'm going to give a demo of the 8-Way Speaker app for Windows 8.1. With this app, I can have words or phrases spoken by the device, and I can do a number of different things to get those words or phrases spoken. For example, I can touch on the screen.
Good morning. It's good to see you.
When I do this, the phrase beneath my finger when I touch the screen is spoken, so if my hand moves around while touching the screen, it's still the phrase I first touched that is spoken. For example,
thanks for coming. How are you?
Now, the device can use whatever voice is installed on the system. So if I bring up the options, I can select the voice of interest to me. You might prefer to not move your finger all the way across the screen to get to the phrase you're interested in. So there is an option called Small Movement. I'll change that from the default of Off to Sensitive. And what this means is, if I make small movements with my finger on the screen, the blue highlight will move a lot further than my finger moves. For example, when I get to the phrase I'm interested in, I tap. So here we go.
Could I have the TV on, please? Thanks.
There are a couple of blank buttons which you might want to add, say, somebody's name or something else that's personal to you. For example, if I bring up the options now, I can type in a phrase or say a name. And there it is on the screen, so I can tap now.
Michael. Good morning. Michael.
And you can change any phrase that's shown anywhere. So for example, I want to replace snack with supper.
Supper.
You can also use a mouse to select the phrase you're interested in. So as I move the mouse here, a blue highlight moves around, and when I get to the phrase I'm interested in, I click.
Good morning. Could I have the TV up, please? Thanks.
And the mouse also supports the short movement option, so I'll bring that up. And so if I move a little bit and press the button down with the mouse, I can see the blue highlight move a lot further than I'm actually moving the mouse.
Could I have the TV up, please? Thanks.
A keyboard can also be used to control the 8-Way Speaker app. So if I move the arrow keys around on the keyboard, the blue highlight moves around. And when I get to the phrase I'm interested in, I'll press the Enter key.
Bye. Could I have the TV on, please? Thanks.
And in addition to using a regular keyboard, if you had a plug-in number pad keyboard, which is so much smaller than the regular keyboard, you could use the arrow keys and the Enter key on that to control the 8-Way Speaker app. For example,
could I have the TV on, please? Thanks.
in addition to having the words or phrases shown on the buttons spoken by the 8-way speaker app, you can also build up an ad hoc sentence at any time to be spoken. So I'll move the highlight down until I reach an area beneath the phrases where I can type. Now just hit enter.
There were lots of birds at the feeder this morning.
If you prefer using a pen to say a mouse or touching the screen, then one option is an external tablet. An external tablet is something that plugs into your computer, and you can use an electronic pen to control where the mouse pointer goes on the computer screen and to tap on things on the screen. So for example,
Good morning, Michael. How are you?
if you use a switch device to work at the computer, then you can use a switch to control the 8-way speaker app. So I'll go to the options. Now I'll change the option use a switch from no switch to the rate at which I want a scan highlight to move through the phrases in response to a switch click. So I'll say half a second scan. And I also want to set the option for the switch based on the type of input the switch generates. So my switch is set up to generate a spacebar press, so I'll leave that option as it is. And having done that, if a phrase is showing the blue highlight, then when I press the switch device, I see row by row a highlight moving through all the phrases. And after 2 cycles through the phrases, if I don't press the switch device, then the scan will stop. But if I get to a row with the phrase I'm interested in, I press the switch device again to move through the phrases on that row. And again, if I don't press the switch device after the highlight has cycled through this particular row, then the scan continues row by row. But if I press the switch device when I get to a particular phrase I'm interested in,
It's good to see you.
then that phrase is spoken.
Good morning. Thanks for coming.
If there's software for the device you have which allows you to control the mouse pointer with head movement, then you could also use that software in conjunction with the 8-way speaker app to have phrases spoken. For example, the free Camera Mouse software allows you to move the pointer by moving your head, and so you can control this app with the Camera Mouse software. And the 8-way speaker app has a couple of options which can be helpful when using something like Camera Mouse. The first is to show some gap to the left and right of the area that shows all the phrases. And what this means is, if you move the mouse pointer to those gaps when you don't want something spoken, then it will mean that Camera Mouse won't find a phrase beneath the mouse pointer and read it out when you don't really want it to. Another option that might be of interest is don't repeat a phrase without moving the pointer away from the phrase first. So I'll turn that on, and what that means is once a phrase has been spoken, then you need to move the mouse pointer away from that phrase and then move it back to have it spoken again. And this means that something like Camera Mouse won't repeat a phrase again and again just because the mouse pointer happens to be left over the phrase. So, there we have the 8-way speaker app, which can be used to have words or phrases spoken by using touch or short movements with touch, a mouse, a keyboard, a switch device, a head tracker, or an external tablet. If there are ways in which I could make this app more useful for you in practice, do let me know at barker@herbie.org and I'll see what I can do. Thank you.